again. We are back in the trenches, in the foxhole, in the jungle. It is Friday, June 18th, 2021. I am James. You are you. We are here. Welcome to the weekend. Are you surprised to see me? Well, maybe in some ways you should be. What has become common tradition on this show is that when the Montreal Canadiens, as they currently are deep into the playoffs, playing a game on the same night as a show, James is nowhere to be found. Of course, this has happened on a variety of the past 3 Mondays. And they played on Wednesday, and they're playing tonight, of course, against the Vegas Golden Knights. And you might be thinking to yourself, just as we talked about on Wednesday, so if you're here for the first time this week, this might come as a surprise, but it is my duty, dare I say, my destiny, to be here at least 2 out of 3 nights a week. Now, there's this nasty rumor that has been going on and perpetuated by one Dave Kaufman, this guy who I found and I plucked out of obscurity. I remember when this guy was just a nobody, a Johnny-come-lately who was the funny man in a sea of very unfunny people. And I thought, this guy's got some talent. What if I took this Dave Kaufman kid under my wing and I polished him up like a diamond in the rough? And for years and years and years, he would shine on stage. And then the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and we took that shining diamond that dazzled audiences, both young and old, on stages across this city, from the plateau to the deeper plateau. What if we put this young, hot talent in front of a camera? And that's what we did. And his star shone so bright that I had to wear shades. For the uneducated, for the uncool, shades is slang jargon for sunglasses. I thought, let's put this Dave Kaufman to the test. He stepped into the driver's seat. He put pedal to the metal, and he took this show to places that it had never otherwise seen. He did unbelievable work for a man that did virtually no preparation. He didn't even book the guests. I said, you know what, Dave, you're going to step in my place. I will do you one. I will do you a favor to make life easy during this difficult transition of going from producer to guest to host. I will book the guests for you. And then he ran wild. Not unlike Hulkamania in the 80s, Dave Kaufman was off to the races. And people love Dave, and I make jokes. I love Dave too. I love what he does. I will say this. It seems like when he hosts, the callers are far more interesting than when I host and I take callers. When I take callers, it's people that they're tripping over their words. They sound so unprepared for what they want to say to me. Maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're intimidated. When Dave hosts, the callers, they're off the wall. They've got something to say. Dare I say, have you heard this Sean guy? This guy is single-handedly helping make the Monday shows what they are. I would love to do an impersonation of Sean. I can't. I don't know how that guy has got his voice in the way that it is. I couldn't do a Sean. This is all to say that a nasty rumor has been perpetuated that I don't care about my own show. Do you truly think in your heart of hearts, give me a chance here. Look at these puppy dog eyes, right? What if I smiled for you? Do you think if I didn't care, I'd be here on a Friday night while the Montreal Canadiens, Canadiens, are playing game 3 against the filthy Vegas Golden Knights fans? Can we talk about the Vegas Golden Knights fans for a second? They love it. They love it, and I love that they love it. They're making noise. They're loud. They're boisterous. They're bombastic. You know what I want to see? I want to see these fans be that excited when their team goes through a stretch of 2 to 5 years of obscurity and pain. What are these fans going to be like when their team absolutely sucks? Because I've seen some Canadiens teams that absolutely are scraping the bottom of the barrel. The barrel is putting it lightly. I want to see how these fans do when they got They got players that are comparable to what floats around at the bottom of a toilet when one flush just isn't enough. Hold on. Let me write that down. When one flush just isn't enough. Sounds like a ballad that Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton might do. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight, right? We're here to do the first ever all hockey talk edition of this show, but I'm going to do what I can to make it fun and engaging for the people that don't care about hockey, because we like to do comedy and conversation on this show. And that's why I'm here tonight. You don't think I care? There's no place I'd rather be than right here live on twitch.tv/@home-with-James. And I assure to you that my focus is 100% on this show, 100% locked in to what happens on this episode of At Home with James. Let's check in with someone who's working the booth tonight, someone who is unabashed in admitting that they don't want to be here. They have better things to do, and that's because he is a fan, one of the all-time great fans of the Canadians. It's Dimitri Kyres, who is locked in to the second period as it begins. Dimitri,
hey James. Hey, sorry. Let me turn the game down here just a minute. Oh, that was close. Hey James, how's it going? Yeah, wow, what a show so far, huh?
Yeah. So, what did you like most about my intro?
Oh boy, oh boy. You know.
Well, let's stop beating around the bush, Dimitri. You'd rather just be watching the game tonight, right?
There's no question, James, that I'm a Habs fan, and I've never seen, since 2014, the Habs have not gotten this far in the playoffs. It's truly a historic moment. Some would even call this a Cinderella run. Do you know what Cinderella run means? I know you do, but the people at home don't realize this is just a shooting star across the sky. If you blink, you might just miss it.
Well, Dimitri, last week you were in a live analytical debate with minority owner of the Vegas Golden Knights, Bill Foley Jr., when he attacked you. You predicted a Montreal Canadiens series win. Now, last time we were in this position, Dimitri, you were watching the game while taking care of the show. And is it fair to say you had yourself a good time, maybe too much of a good time? You were absolutely throttled by the end of the show.
I had a great time, James, and again, it's a Cinderella run, and I just want to milk this for all it's worth. I want to have a great time. Everybody is downtown, and for unfortunately, COVID-19 is still very much an issue. Don't be fooled, folks, by the gatherings. It still very much is an issue, and we gotta be safe, even though there's so much fun going on around the city. But with that said, James, yes, I had a party with myself.
Yeah.
Well, I had a friend come over eventually, but yeah, I had a really good time, James.
Yeah. Now. People don't know this, but prior to the show, you promised me that you were going to keep the partying to a minimum, right?
Yeah, of course. I have an obligation to tech this show, to be the analyst on the show, and to be your confidant in a lot of ways. And I don't know. Yeah, I promised you that I wouldn't get too turnt, as the children say.
Right. Now, I would like for you to confirm or deny, are you drinking at the moment?
I have one very small beverage open at the moment, James, to be completely honest with you. But I just had some ribs and some fries, and I just needed something to go along with it. I felt a nice little Heineken, little beverage. It's a Heineken. It's about, here, I can check it for you right now. It's about 5.5%, I think, this one. Very low.
So you're having a good time watching the game. You're having a good time drinking a classic sports-themed dinner. Ribs and French fries. Dimitri, you're going to be on the board all night long. Let's check in with you. Once again, you are not going to get loaded tonight.
I promise you that I will not get loaded tonight, James. Professionalism is paramount, and I promise you that's what you're going to get tonight.
And you're not bringing any surprise guests on, like that lady last time?
No. The door is locked. The phone's off the hook. I am 100% committed to this show, and no, there will be no funny business.
All right. Well, Dimitri, look, I wish you and the Canadians the best of luck. Keep me posted on what goes on, because I am not watching the game. So, Dimitri, we'll talk to you soon, okay?
You got it. James. Have a great show, and I'll talk to you later.
Wonderful. That's Dimitri Kyres. He is working the board tonight, so nothing but love and appreciation for him and for the people that are tuned into tonight's show. Thank you for joining us. This is the final episode of the week, so we are going to go out with a bang. Again, tonight is about hockey-related talk, but there's a little caveat. I brought someone on who does not watch hockey, who has never watched hockey, to the best of my knowledge, who doesn't care about hockey, right? Did you think I was just going to bring people on tonight? We're going to talk about, so what do you think the Canadiens' best fourth line of the 90s was? Who do you think the most underappreciated coach of the 2000s was? No, we're talking to a guy who could not care less, and I could not care less about that. Let's welcome a true friend of the show. He's been here since the beginning of time, and he'll probably be here on our final episode, whenever the hell that might be. Let's welcome Jason Grimmer. Jason, how's it going?
Good. Hey, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Well, the pleasure's all mine.
Super honored to be on a show that you yourself are not even that interested in watching.
Well, hold on.
Thanks for that's cool.
I was very engaged with my own introduction, so let's be fair to James, right? Jason, you're not going to perpetuate these narratives that Dave and others have been spreading about me, right? Because this thing is spreading worse than Covoid.
You're feeling the Covoid. You're feeling the kind of the gunk at your ankles. It's building up. It's starting to build up and threatening to envelop you.
Yeah, well, thank God I'm wearing flood pants because this gunk is going high, and it's not just this Dave guy that's doing it. Sid Rock, one of the all-time.
That's Sid, yeah.
Show. This guy has been painting me out to be a true villain.
Well, that's insane. I'll talk to Sid because Sid and I play a role-playing game together, so I'm sure I can sort of influence him, if not.
Yeah, how dare he criticize me when he's playing role-playing games?
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I'll have a chat with him at some point. I'm sure.
Hold on, are they romantic role-playing games?
I mean, depends on the intention.
All right. Well, I will hold my judgment until I find out what the true premise behind these games are. Jason, we're here to talk tonight. We're here to talk about hockey, but before we really get into it, you can confirm not a hockey fan.
Not a sports fan in general.
Yeah. Now,
but don't hate it.
I want to go back to the origins of that because I think when kids are growing up, they are either indoctrinated into sports by way of their parents, and if they don't get into it, it's usually because their parents don't care about it. Now, growing up, was anyone close to you in your family into sports, hockey, football, baseball, croquet?
I'd say 0 people.
Yeah, right.
0.
Right, so it wasn't anything that came to you naturally. It wasn't forced on you. You don't have memories of growing up sitting on the floor and like, oh my God, it's the great Bobby Orr.
No, I mean, I think in maybe grade 1 or around that time, my mom signed me up for hockey. Mm-hmm. I can see something's happening.
So you were signed up to play hockey. This is not something I was aware of.
Yeah, I was signed up to play hockey. I didn't even learn how to skate. So right. And then a couple years ago, I decided, maybe I'll learn how to skate, or rather my family talked me to trying it. And then I went and tried it once and decided that it was just going to be one of those things that I will never do.
Got it.
So
okay. So, and that's a tough thing to break into, the idea of playing a sport, specifically in this case, hockey, when you don't already have a previous admiration for it by way of being a fan.
Yeah, you're not going to walk around if you're not seeing it on TV, if you're not seeing people excited by it, you're not going to have that context. It's not going to make any sense. I did play, pick up baseball games when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Never hockey. But mostly I don't know why I never saw anyone playing hockey or why I was never playing hockey, but I played baseball. So in high school, I played some soccer. I'm never good, but
okay. Well, I want to chat about this. Look, as Canadians, there is a true admiration for hockey. It is Canada's sport. Certainly more of an admiration for that over the other important sports in the zeitgeist, as the cool kids like to say. Now, growing up, were you surrounded by other kids at school, whether elementary or high school, that were super into it to the point that you were like, why do they care about this? I don't care about this.
I honestly have no remembrance of anybody being into hockey when I was a kid.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And it's not because you blocked it out due to trauma
how am I going to know? Maybe that is the case.
Hockey kids hammering you with their sticks and cross checks and stuff.
I don't know. Maybe you're going to say a word that's affiliated with hockey that's going to trigger some sort of memory. But at this moment, I really don't. I remember people playing hockey, but I don't remember people wearing jerseys.
I wonder if it's because you grew up in New Brunswick. Is it possible you grew up in New Brunswick that doesn't have a team, so people are probably enjoying a variety of teams, whether it's the Boston Bruins, the Toronto Maple Leafs, or of course the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, when I became a teenager and I moved to a town that was on the border of Maine. Mm-hmm. So at that point, sports became more of my mom remarried a man who was really into boxing. So sports became a normal thing in my household. I'd see these things more often. And that's when hockey became, I'd go to a couple high school hockey games.
Yeah.
But just to hang out.
Yeah.
But other than that, never cared about basketball, which was bigger there. Mm-hmm. But you're probably right, because the Boston Bruins were probably the team people talked about the most there. And that was partially because someone from the town, Don Sweeney was from and joined and became a Bruin.
Yeah, so there was currently the general manager of the Boston Bruins. A bit of information there.
Oh, we have a sign in our hometown saying, "Welcome, Don Sweeney was born here."
And there you go. Now he runs a National Hockey League team. Okay, so I want to chat about
his dad was, I believe, my vice principal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Okay, so now this is more Don Sweeney talk than I've ever had in my life, let alone on the show. This is something that if there's any other Don Sweeney heads out there, they're like, this is amazing.
This guy's walked the same path as him.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about when you moved to Vancouver as an adult. Anything you notice there in terms of fandom? Because of course they have a team.
The Canucks, yeah.
Correct.
Who if I'm going to take a wild guess, have never won anything.
They have never won anything. The closest they have come to is the Stanley Cup final, where they lost to, once again, the Boston Bruins.
And that was the riot. I moved to Vancouver almost immediately after that riot happened. The town was still reeling from this riot.
This is 2011 now. Have you ever been a part of anything riot-like, sports or otherwise?
Wait a second. That was 2011?
Correct.
No, I was there for an earlier riot. Because I moved to Vancouver in, like, 95?
Okay, so perfect. I'm glad you mentioned this because it sparks a memory. They were also in the 1994 Stanley Cup final in which they lost to the New York Rangers.
So that's the one when I first moved there. 2011, I moved here.
Right. Okay, so you were there for a Vancouver riot or shortly after?
I got there right after. The town was reeling from this riot.
Yeah. Now,
creeps all over Robson Street.
Okay, so Vancouver has had 2 riots. Now, Montreal has had a couple riots themselves. Most recent one was 2008. And they rioted because they won a playoff series.
So what do you think happens? Do you think that Vancouver's just trying to get any riot in they can because they have no chance of winning? I think that troublemakers, whether they're a sports fanatic or otherwise, are attracted to situations that they could potentially exploit. James, what's your second favorite hockey team?
I don't have one.
There's no way you could pick someone if Montreal was out that you would follow and see? Like
I never could. It would the closest thing that I've come to
the Oilers
is to a kid. No, I would never cheer for the Oilers. Closest thing that I've come to is when 2 of my personal favorite Montreal Canadiens players were now on other teams. The Canadiens were then either not included in the playoffs or had otherwise been eliminated. And then I would root for a team with a former Canadian that I had an affinity for.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch all that because I'm watching Taxi Driver.
You've been distracted.
I'm watching Taxi Driver over here, so
you're watching Taxi Driver. So
I'll be a little bit zoned out.
This conversation has become so flat for you that you have resorted to turning openly, watching a film.
Yeah, it's right there.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm familiar with the movie and the configuration of your living room, so I do not have a second favorite team.
Okay,
I would root for a team that would feature a former Montreal Canadian that I have a lot of strong feelings for.
But I have like favorite bands, and sometimes there'd be like different rate. You've got to like some other teams.
Well,
what about the Avalanche? Is that a team?
Yeah, that's a team, but I'm not a fan of theirs. But I'll tell you what, in the mid '90s, when Montreal Canadiens star goaltender Patrick Roy was traded there, when you're a kid, you don't know anything, right? I was like, I like the Avalanche now, and that year the Avalanche won the cup. So I convinced myself that is the closest I've ever come to liking another hockey team because I actively had merchandise of the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, so you still have merch of it? Where is it?
No, it's gone now, but I would never. Again, this is when you're a kid and you're flirting with other interests.
I don't judge you because of it. I don't care.
I have no shame over it, but that would never happen now.
So do you ever every once in a while kind of like think about those games that they won or think about how they played and think, oh, my life could have been different if I stayed being they were my favorite team.
No, it would no. I don't think about.
There's no grass is greener for you in that way.
I have no. I have not thought about liking the Colorado Avalanche until this moment.
What's the oldest hockey player you like?
You mean oldest in age?
Yeah, the oldest hockey player.
Are they still playing or currently retired?
You tell me. I don't know. Like the oldest hockey player. That famous hockey player.
Oldest?
Yeah, like one we'd know if I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get to the...
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this whole... So, the oldest that isn't playing... Now, have I seen them play?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I would assume if it's your favorite, you've seen them play and you've enjoyed them.
But they're
okay,
old.
so then I will probably go with Saku Koivu.
And how old is this gentleman?
He's probably
or
at this
gentlewoman
point in his mid to late 40s.
That's pretty late for hockey, right?
Well, he's no longer playing. He retired many years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, then
He's 46.
has anyone replaced him? And like, is there another person down? Like, how does it work with players? There's a whole bunch of them, James, and they change all the time, and they're not from Montreal. So what do you do?
Teams don't go out of business when the players get old and retire.
No, they get new ones in, like Menudo or like all those...
it's like Menudo. They get a new, but there's a constant
draft.
Constant to see. People are like, oh, James is going to talk about hockey with some fanatic. This is a guy who doesn't know what's going on.
I know about farm teams.
Yeah, that's how they populate their teams is through farm teams and drafting. Yeah.
Yeah, so they find them.
If you're asking if the Montreal Canadiens have replaced center Saku Koivu after his last game in 2009, yes.
Okay.
Many times over.
And is it another sort of a mature gentleman or no?
So you're asking if they have replaced him with another old man? No.
Hey, let's not call him an old man. You just said he was late 40s.
Well, when he left the team, he wasn't in his mid 40s. He left in his 30s.
And that was your favorite old hockey player?
You said that they no longer need to be playing.
This is why I don't understand anything about hockey.
So who is my favorite old player who's currently playing?
Yeah.
Well, I guess
if you asked me that about music, I'd be able to answer it.
Yeah, of course. But you also, if I'm correct, I believe you also mentioned a condition is they no longer need to be playing. This might be the worst argument I've ever been in.
I guess I'm just lost. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm trying
you're
to
lost
learn.
on the premise of your own question.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
This is traumatic. This is probably why I don't like sports a lot.
This is it, right? Okay, well,
But listen, I did want to like hockey for a period of time.
Yeah. Why?
Because people were hanging out and watching hockey, and I was like, you know, that thing I watched the playoffs. You know, people will be like, I like the playoffs. I was like, well, I'll try that out, but I didn't even like those. I had no context. And that's the kind of thing I'd be like, how old is that person? How long have they been playing?
There are a lot of fans who are like, oh, you got these bandwagon fans now. They only care about the playoffs. For me, it's like, hey, it just means more support. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Where I'm just like, yeah, maybe people don't want to invest 82 nights a year in a thing that will 9.9 times out of 10 break your heart.
How does hockey break your heart?
Well, because you create an intense investment in it and it draws on your emotions. So
So you love hockey?
Well, I love watching the Montreal Canadiens play hockey.
So you just love the Montreal Canadiens then? That's the main thing for you is the Canadiens.
Oh, yeah.
What if they became a basketball team all of a sudden?
Nah, probably not. Well, I like hockey more but I am more likely to watch a non-Montreal Canadiens hockey game than I am to watch. It would have to involve the representation of the city of Montreal. So I was interested in baseball as a kid, but if there's no Montreal Expos, I don't care anymore.
So then we go back to the original thing, which is that's why I don't care about sports.
Exactly. Yeah. So when it comes to that type of investment, so to show you my intensity of enjoying the Montreal Canadiens during the Olympics, if there is a Montreal Canadiens player who, let's say, plays for Team Russia and they're playing Team Canada, Canada has no Montreal Canadiens, I would be more apt to root for Team Russia.
What if it was the worst player on the team? Like the worst Montreal Canadiens. Like who's the worst Montreal Canadiens player?
Currently, the worst the current iteration.
Yeah, right now, today, the worst.
That's a great question. It's not something I think of. The worst Montreal Canadiens player.
Like just a real piece of shit. You don't just like
no good. There's no RPSs on the team.
Okay.
So I'd have to go with look on their depth chart. It's someone who has not played a lot this season, under 5 games. I'd probably go with Michael Frolik.
Michael Frolik, and is he how old is he?
It's probably I'm gonna guess 30, anywhere in between 34 and 35.
That's pretty old too for hockey.
Yeah, for hockey, yeah. But there are older players on the team. It's just that he's 33. I'm getting confirmation that he's 33. He would technically be the worst. Now, here's the caveat. If he was playing, I think he's from the Czech Republic, let's say. I can't remember. I probably wouldn't root for him because there's no investment. It would have to be a player that had been on the team for a number of years.
Is there anybody from Montreal on the team right now?
Currently from Montreal, I believe not.
What about LaSalle?
LaSalle, no. LaSalle is in Montreal.
Yeah, but that's a recent thing. So what's the deal with Youppi then? So are they like a pretty, like as a mascot? Like
Youppi is beloved in Montreal. It's the former mascot of the Montreal Expos. So Montreal acquired Youppi when the Expos were relocated to Washington.
Aren't people trying to get the Expos back here? What are they going to do?
I suspected they would get Youppi back, but it's possible that the Canadians and the Expos would hold joint custody, which I would be fine with.
You'd be cool with that?
I'd also be fine with Youppi being returned to the Expos.
But what is Youppi?
Youppi is a monster. Youppi is giant orange monster, right?
Is that what? Really?
Could you imagine if we got a mascot for this show?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's a great idea.
I think you've got a couple of nominees based on their sort of headwear in the past couple episodes too.
Yeah, please.
Well, Andy. I mean, he's increasingly become a mascot of some sort.
Could you imagine taking Andy's likeness and turning that into a mascot? He would. Yeah. I think, this might be a dicey subject. I think he would maybe look like the mascot for the formerly named Cleveland Indians. He might look like that mascot
You'd have to capture the essence that he's getting with this sort of hat thing. He looks like as if Midnight Cowboy, if Pixar made a Monsters Inc. version of Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, that also like Midnight Cowboy meets Cheech Marin.
Yeah,
from
sure.
the 70s.
Yeah, I think it's Marin.
Yeah. Oh, no, is it?
I think so, yeah.
I like my version better. Yeah, so this is what now we have to find. This is going to be a new contest on the show.
A mascot, yeah.
Coming up with the at-home mascot.
I think it's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
So what you do when you have a mascot is you go, how do you exemplify the spirit of the show as I've been a mascot a couple times in my life.
Yeah, as have I.
What were you?
I was my high school mascot football team. My high school football team mascot, the Bear. I was just a bear.
Great.
Yeah.
How did you like that experience?
I had a big sign that said "Free Bear Hugs."
I was a Hostess Munchie.
Yeah.
And great. I was the mascot of my hometown, which was a chocolate town because Ganongs is there. I was the chocolate moose.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those pretty much exemplify exactly the spirit of like the Hostess chips or chocolates. Yeah. So you have to find out what exemplifies the spirit of your show and then try to create something like that. So what do you think the spirit of the show is?
Yeah. Well, the spirit of the show
awkwardness?
is awkwardness. Strange absurdity. A lot of frankly, let's say sophomoric toilet humor.
Yeah.
Well, this is something for us to think about, I think. See, everyone, they probably tune in thinking, oh, James is going to talk about the best statistics from the 2006 NHL season. No, not at all. We're making fun of Andy Asaf, which could be any night on this show.
So back to what we were talking about, so we can get off that topic a bit. Who is the David Crosby of hockey?
The David Crosby. Now we have to, for people who don't know, how would we define David Crosby? Right? He was
I define him as the ballast in a hot tub.
He was an egomaniac. Went to jail. Drug addict.
Dope peddler. to the stars.
You know, I would...
Father of Melissa Etheridge's child.
Yeah. Now, a part of me I'll say I'm going to keep this around Montreal Canadiens players. I might go with Chris Chelios, who's notorious for using drugs, for living the high life, being a fairly cocky player, but also allegedly sleeping with his teammates' wives.
Oh, like more than once?
This is what rumor has it.
How's that happen?
I guess he's got a taste for the taken. That's another great song title, by the way. A taste for the taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a little bit of shaking.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I don't know that person, so I can only picture them. And for some reason, I'm only picturing
and I just want to say,
with his shirt off.
Coming in from the chat, friend of the show, Naive Adventures, right here, this is my favorite conversation ever on the At Home with James show. Favorite convo ever.
Oh, that's kind.
And there's been 256 plus conversations on this show. You can multiply that by 3 because generally there's 3 guests per night.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, that's kind. Who was that again?
This is Naive Adventures.
Well, thanks a lot, Naive Adventures.
Well, Jason, how about this? Do you want to check in with Dimitri now? He's watching the game. It is currently 1-1. I wouldn't know because I haven't watched anything from this game.
1-1's exciting, James, and I feel like you've been engaged in our conversation, so congrats.
This is what they think that I don't care, but I care more than they could ever care to care about something. Let's check in with Dimitri. Dimitri, how's it going? How's the game? How are your emotions? Are you at the edge of your seat?
He just made his giant save, James, on a breakaway. Oh, my God.
Who did?
Now, that sounds like Carey Price. Dimitri, you sound a little slurry at the moment. Am I wrong?
I got through the Heineken, and then I still had some more ribs, so I had another Heineken, and then I won't lie to you, James, I had another Heineken, and then I had a Jameson.
Now, Jason, hold that thought, Dimitri. Jason, you consume alcohol. You've been drunk before. Do you think Dimitri is guilty right now, hearing his voice, of only having consumed 2 Heinekens?
Well, I mean, it's either that or you should see a doctor.
Yeah, maybe. Dimitri, are you drunk or have you been touched with a palsy?
Tough to say. Tough to say.
You just got to keep your stick out of there.
Not for me. See a doctor.
Right. Okay, so if this was a sports highlight package, a sports anchor, Jason, how would you, if we were to throw to you like someone were to break down a hockey play, how would you do this if I were to say, let's throw to Jason for some analysis on Dimitri Kyres' speech pattern right now?
Sure. Well, it started out pretty solid earlier in the night, James, and he had made sure that we knew, he asserted that he wasn't going to drink too much. And I'm not sure if it's the drinking that's caused the slurring. If it's not, it could be some sort of undiagnosed injury to the head area. But nevertheless, the guy's young. He's probably got some years ahead of him. He'll probably shake this off like he's shaken off so many other things in the past.
Dimitri, what do you think? Is that analysis fair or unfair?
I thought that was a fair analysis, and I thought the man is spot on. I thought the man.
Dimitri, I want to ask you a question that Jason mentioned earlier. Who's your favorite old hockey player?
Do
you understand the question?
Who's my favorite old hockey player?
Yeah, they're currently playing, but maybe they don't need to be.
Yeah. Who's an old player that should be put to pasture?
See, that's a clear version of the question.
Yeah. Oh, that's a much easier question to answer. Favorite player, probably Brent.
Yeah, if we had a counter here, we're up to 7 probablys.
No. He plays for the San Jose Sharks.
You talking about Patrick Marleau?
Yeah, Patrick Marleau should put up the gloves.
Yeah.
Is he a man with a family though?
Yeah.
He's got a family. Yeah.
Well,
good family man.
Well, I mean that counts for something, right?
I think he's too old. I think he better get going. I think put Jason Spezza in that mix. I think put Shea Weber in that mix too. I think he's too old.
So you want anyone 35 and up put out to pasture?
I think hockey's a young man game. I think if we are ever going to compete with basketball, I think we need hot studs wearing less and saying more.
Well, Dimitri, at this point, I'd like to say that I suspect you've had more than 2 Heinekens. Dimitri,
someone ordered a plate of shooters, it sounds like.
Yeah. All right, well, the Wolfman is out. Dimitri, let's check in with you at the tail end of the night. How's that sound?
It's a great game, and I'm sad you're missing it, but you're hosting a hell of a show. Jason, take it easy.
Great. Well, thank you for that. Now, Jason, I mentioned that during my promo for this show, we'd be doing ourselves a little bit of a game show, right? Now, you are self-proclaimed, know nothing about hockey. What we are going to do tonight is that I want to take you through 3 stages of a very simple game called Guess the NHL Franchise.
Okay, cool.
I want to see 3 different tiers of this, all different. And what's going to be important is that, one, well, you're watching the show on Twitch because that is where the images are going to be presented to not only the audience, but you as well. So that would be twitch.tv/@home-with-James. And each panel holds 3 NHL franchise logos. You ready for this, Jason?
Yeah, I just have to, there's a time shift, right? But yeah, I think
there is a time shift, but you know what? As Dimitri mentioned, I'm hosting a hell of a show. I'm very good at ramping.
We'll be fine. Yeah.
I will be fine. So, Jason, before we go into it, how confident are you? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Of what? Being okay at this game? I'm going to say probably, I want to say maybe like, you know what? I'm going to say 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Great.
I understand marketing, I should be able to figure it out.
Well, I love it. Let's see the first panel. So what these 3 franchises have in common is that they were part of the NHL in the 60s and 70s. This is when their creation and emergence into the NHL began. So let's start with the first logo. We've got the colors blue, yellow, and white.
St. Louis Blues.
The St. Louis Blues. Very good. Let's go to the second logo. We've got blue, white, and green.
Canucks.
Now, what city do they come from?
Vancouver.
Great. So you have to get the city and the franchise name. And let's finally go to the third one. Blue, white, and yellow again.
I might have got the middle one wrong. This is the Buffalo Sabres.
Jason, you have gone 3 for 3 in our 60s and 70s panel. Now, does this increase your confidence going into
so that was Canucks. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, I think
all the way around.
I think I'm doing great.
Great. Let's go to the next panel. I'm very impressed, Jason. Next panel is on its way up in just a matter of moments. So this one, we're shifting gears. This is teams from the 90s into the 2000s. Let's go with the first one. We've got burgundy, blue, white, and black.
Those are ugly. Houston Astros?
That is incorrect. Would you like to take a second try? Now, the Houston Astros is a baseball team.
So, there's a wave on there.
Yep. Think about it. What does it inspire?
I think I don't know. I don't know this one at all. I'm going to have to pass.
Great. So, this is the logo of the Colorado Avalanche.
There we go.
Let's go to the second logo now. At the time of this franchise's inception, this was a very out there logo.
Two-headed dog.
This franchise inspired by the Rocky Erickson song Two-Headed Dog. Yeah, drink up, Jason. Now, what do you think about this logo upon first sight? Because this is a big departure from traditional NHL logos.
Yeah, it's a different one, man. It's weird. It's ragged. Those are like foxes or wolves or like some sort of what? It's like part of his face is white. Is that like a hockey mask? It's half a hockey mask.
Okay, so you said foxes or wolves. Which do you veer towards the closest?
I mean, I don't think there's a hockey team with foxes in the name, so I'm gonna say wolves.
Okay.
Wolves. Yeah.
What city would you like to designate? What do you
think?
think?
Milwaukee Wolves.
Now, this is not the Milwaukee Wolves. This was the Phoenix Coyotes, subsequently renamed to the Arizona Coyotes. This is
That's why I didn't get it.
There you go. So we're going to move on to the third logo. Again,
I know this one right off.
Okay.
Well, except I don't. I know it's a saber tooth.
Okay, I like this. I know this one right off, except I don't, right? Sabertooth.
Well, I don't know this. Sabertooth is the animal.
This is the late 90s when designers were getting a little funky, a little bit more modern, so to speak, with their creations.
I hate it. Sabertooths. I don't know. Pass.
Would you like to take a guess on the city, maybe?
Well, that's what I was trying to do. Cincinnati.
So you're going with the Cincinnati Sabertooths.
It's pretty cool.
That is wrong. This is the Nashville Predators.
Oh.
So in the first round, you went 3 for 3. Correct. Now you've gone 3 for 3 incorrect.
Yeah.
Let's go to the third and final panel. This is an interesting one. This is defunct NHL franchises. So teams that no longer...
got this.
Great. So let's go to the first logo.
Hartford Whalers.
The Hartford Whalers is correct. Very good. Now, for an extra point, can you tell me where they relocated to?
Are they still called the Whalers?
They're not called the Whalers anymore.
Can I know what they're called?
No, that's part of the guessing game.
But then I'll guess the city.
Okay, the Hurricanes.
Oh, Calgary.
The Calgary. They thought, we've already got the Calgary Flames. We don't have enough teams. So let's relocate the Hartford Whalers.
I still got that. I don't want extra points. I got 1 point.
Calgary Hurricanes. No, the Carolina Hurricanes. They play in North Carolina.
Who cares about that? All right.
Great. Let's go to the second logo. This is a team that was birthed in the 90s. It was this city's second franchise that also went by the wayside.
Well, that's a bird. And it's a bird of prey. Which is also a predator, but we've already gotten rid of that one.
Yeah.
But is it a bird that feeds on carrion, or is it like an eagle?
Well, apparently they feed on their opponents.
It's a falcon? No, the head's not like a falcon. Is it a falcon? I'm going to say falcon anyway.
Would you like to guess a city?
Yeah. Bangor Falcons.
Great. So out of Maine, it's the Bangor Falcons. That is incorrect. This is the logo of the Atlanta Thrashers.
What? Why isn't it Thrasher? Why be a bird then?
Now, for a point, would you like to correctly predict where the Atlanta Thrashers relocated to?
And they changed their name?
They changed their name. Changed their name and their city.
Oh, okay. Well, then, the Sacramento Snowbirds.
That is incorrect. They relocated to the city of Winnipeg, where they became the Winnipeg Jets.
What? Haven't the Winnipeg Jets been around forever?
The Winnipeg Jets existed up until the mid-90s when they relocated to Phoenix, where they became the Phoenix Coyotes.
And all the players travel during this to each one of the places, and then come, so they all end up back home. The old ones.
Well, these are two different Winnipeg Jets franchises, so they hold different history.
Weird. Does everybody know that?
Yes.
Okay, weird. All right.
Now, would you like to predict this final logo? Once again, this from the 70s.
That's from the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's like another bird playing.
Yeah. Now I want to tell you this team name was not called the Roaches, because this always looked to me like a roach.
Oh, I can see that well. But this has got, I want to say Florida for something like this. And I think that is like a bird to me. And I don't, but it's got to be someplace in Florida. So let's say, why can't I remember? So Orlando, no, that's a C. So it can't be that. So, but there's a C in the, oh, that's the Canadians. They have a C, but they're called the Habs. So how does this work for this place? Mm-hmm. This is going to be the Cincinnati, Cincinnati Pigeons.
That is incorrect. This is the California Golden Seals.
Oh, it's a seal.
So you got 4 out of 9 correct. Perfect as our theme song. And when I say our theme song, I mean the Hockey Night in Canada theme song ends. Jason, how do you feel you did tonight? 4 out of 9, better or worse than you thought?
Worse than I thought.
All right, worse than you thought. I want to see if you can make one last prediction before we start to wind down tonight's show. Sure. Going into the third period, no Canadien versus the Vegas Golden Knights. It is currently tied at 1-1. This is game 3. The series is tied at 1-1. Would you like to make a prediction on what happens in the third period or potentially into overtime?
Oh, you're asking me.
I'm asking you. The uneducated opinion, giving us a guess off the top of their mind.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, let's see. So they're at 3-1 now?
It's currently 1-1.
Okay.
Currently 1-1 at game 3, where the series is tied at 1-1 as well.
And they're in the second period.
Second period is just ended, going into the third. You have gotten every detail wrong.
Okay, well, hold on. Hold on. So who got the first point in the first period?
There was no goals in the first period.
Second period, who got the first goal?
The first goal went to Vegas. The second goal went to Montreal.
Ooh, so this is the third session.
Yeah, the third session, yeah.
And you're going to have, well, this is exciting because that's tied. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a whole period of sort of, I think it's going to go to overtime. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to say I know what's going to happen. Vegas is going to take it 2-1.
Vegas will win 2-1. I predicted a 2-1 Canadiens win, so we're going to see where it lies, maybe somewhere in the middle. Jason, I have to say that your analysis of Dimitri's drinking or speech impediment was far more concise than your prediction on tonight's hockey game. But I'll tell you what, that makes sense because you don't watch hockey. You don't care about it.
No.
But there's something that you are passionate about, drinking and speech problems.
That's something that I definitely, that's where I get my kicks.
Well, Jason, look, I appreciate you getting your kicks on the show tonight. Thanks for sticking around longer than most guests do on a Friday, but here we are. We did it. We achieved it. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll get you back here soon, okay?
Thanks, buddy.
All right, that's Jason Grimmer. Before we really start to ramp down this show, again, I want to thank you for being a nice, lovely audience for us. See what you miss on a Friday when you're not here. Allegedly, the best conversation in at-home history. We're going to be back on Monday. Dave Kaufman's going to be here, as well as the return of one of the more unsettling guests on the show. It's Gabe Rondos. Let's check in for the third and final time before we call it an evening with Dimitri Kyres, who's on the board tonight. Dimitri, how's it going, buddy?
James! James!
I'm at home hosting the show. Are you still in the booth?
I'm downtown. Can you hear me?
Wait, you're downtown?
Yeah, I went downtown. I'm outside the Bell Center. Can you hear me?
You're partying downtown outside the Bell Center? How did you get there while still teching the show?
Oh, I brought the iPad with me, James.
You're teching the show off an iPad?
Yeah, it's an app. It's an app I made for the show a couple of months back, but the same one wasn't funny, so we didn't do it. But,
okay, well, people can't see what I see. Dimitri, you got your shirt off.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, COVID is gone, and everybody wants to touch James. We're all having a great time. And hold on, James, there's somebody here. She wants to talk to you.
Oh, no.
Hey, James C. Where are you, baby?
Oh, James, Diane's here.
Yeah, Diane, it's nice to talk to you again. I'm at home, Diane. You're partying with Dimitri?
You should come over to us, my hot tub.
Oh, she wants to invite you over for the hot tub, James.
Now, Dimitri, Diane is also not wearing a shirt.
Woo! No, she isn't. She does whatever she pleases.
Dimitri, it looks like you got security behind you.
Yeah. What? Yeah, whatever. They're cool. Yeah, whatever. You could say I'm in the penalty box right now, but, oh, wait, hold on. Diane wants to tell you something. Hold on. Come into the microphone, Diane.
Hey, James C. I'm giving you a penalty.
Oh, boy.
2 minutes for looking so damn good, baby.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Well, Diane, thanks. This is one instance where I wish I could have gotten a major. Maybe like 10 minutes or a game misconduct. Thank you for that, Diane.
Whoa, careful. She might throw you out of the game and into her bedroom.
Yeah, is that where the penalties are being held?
That's where they're getting distributed. Let's just say we're giving you. She's gonna. Anyway, whatever. James, we're having a great time. Where are you, man?
I'm at home. I'm hosting the show, man.
You're still doing this stupid fucking show.
Yeah, I'm still doing this SFS. Is you look, Dimitri? Who's Diane kissing back there?
Oh, boy, she's macking on. Wait a minute. That's Chris Chelios. She's kissing Chris Chelios.
Oh my God.
He's hammered. Oh my God. Yeah,
So this would stand to say that Diane is probably married, right?
Woman, Chelios, what are you doing?
Yeah. So that makes sense because if she was single, Chelly wouldn't want a piece of Diane.
Oh my God. Oh, she's macking.
Well, look, I guess I don't have to worry about Diane tonight, Dimitri.
Wait, she's walking over. Hold on a minute.
Oh no.
What's she saying? What's up, Diane?
Me and you and Kelios get over James.
Oh, James. They say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah. Well, luckily Chris Chelios is not my hero. And look, I'll tell you what, the last thing I thought about happening on a Friday night was me and Chris Chelios having a good time with Diane.
Oh, well, James, it could happen. You could get down here because we're having a hell of a party right now. We're having a great time. You should get down here, James.
Well, Dimitri, the problem is you said you weren't gonna get. We're gonna get drunk now, and I just want to be
I can't
clear.
hear you. Speak up.
I just want to be clear. People are saying they can't see anything. Dimitri is coming to me with a hot mic, which has happened in the past, and trust me, you don't want to see what's happening right now. Okay, well, Dimitri is taking his pants off.
Watch out. Youpie's getting loose. Ow!
Oh.
The monster is free from the cage.
Well, look at.
Oh, wait, Diane's coming up to the mic. Hold on. What's that, Diane?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What's that, Diane?
Whoa.
Oh, she's wooing into the microphone, James.
Yeah. Diane's having herself a good time. I'm also getting confirmation they saw the empty room, which was Jason's, which, Dimitri, look, you're so wasted, you're not even cutting away.
The only thing I'm cutting away from is reality, brother, because the Montreal Canadiens are in the semifinals. It's 1-1 at Cole Caulfield. He just scored a breakaway goal.
Well, that's a great thing, right, Dimitri? Any predictions for the end of this game?
Montreal's going to come hot out of the gate, and they're going to squeak one past that goddamn guy named Marc-Andre Fleury, and we're walking into the fourth with a 2-1 lead on the series, James. And Don Ducharme, that COVID guy, he's going to be smiling from ear to ear.
Well, as we begin to say goodnight, because it is certainly time for me to say goodnight to you, any last words from Diane before we say goodnight? Because certainly I'm sure the fans want to hear about what Diane has to say as we begin to wind down once and certainly for all.
Diane, come over here. James wants to talk to you.
Well, yeah, it looks like Diane had to jump off a table.
Here she is.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, Diane. Come on, we gotta go.
Kissy, kissy, Jamesy. I wanna kiss you.
Okay, Diane. Okay. Well, that's it for Diane.
Well, look, you and Diane, you have yourself a good night. Who knows? If they win, maybe I'll see both of you downtown, right? How's that sound?
You gotta come up here. Chelios is doing bong rips off the top of a police car. You'd love it.
Well, I'll take a pass on that, but tell Chelly I say hi. Say I'd love for him to sign my number 24 Chelios jersey. Dimitri, thanks so much for tonight. Got wasted, but at least you did a 9 out of 10 job.
Go, lay boys. Bring it home, Alabama. Don't.
That was Dimitri Kyres. I guess the Montreal Canadiens have a new fan chant. It's go, lay boys. Bring it home, Alabama. Folks, that's our show. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, not only tonight, but all week long. We've had a very, very engaging and entertaining 3 episodes, and we'll do it again next week too, I think. At least I hope. Thanks to Jason Grimmer for being here. Dimitri Kyres, the only thing I want to do outside of thanking him is hoping that he is able to survive the night.
Where did Jamesy go?
On that note, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.